backwards. A part of me wants to, let's flip it, just to be on the safe side, because typically it gets a little funky. I hope that this is within the proper boundaries. So let's do this. Let me explain the rules and how the scoring works. Okay, so I want to make sure that this is, okay, so this is sort of like the edge. So let's put this cord here so I know to stay within frame, and it goes all the way to the edge of the table. Okay, so let's do this so you can see. This is called Elemental. It's a card game that sort of came to me last night that I think is kind of fun. And I understand it's sort of in the discovery phase. So it's a little more, the rules are still coming together, but I've played it enough times with myself and I've done enough conversation with myself that it sort of makes sense. So it's a game for 4 players. The way that the scoring works is you draw boxes like this. Now, this is a team, these opponents sitting across from each other, and these are team members. So essentially imagine a grid. So one team, another team. So the way it works is you want to be the magician in this game called Elemental that wins 5 casts. So you're given elemental magic that you can use, and it is luck of the draw which ones you get. So the first, it's divided up into 3 rounds, by the way. Round 1, round 2, round 3. Round 1 consists of 5 one-element spells. So that's 5 hands, 1 spell element per hand. Round 2 is 3 hands, 2 spells. And round 3, if there's a need for it, which it's the one that occurs the least, is only 1 hand and you get 3 spells. So what is a spell? I'm about to show you. So what we'll do, is that still in frame? I can't see. Okay, probably not. So I guess it needs to stay there. So let's do this. We're gonna shuffle. I got the cards a bit mixed up, so this is not the most familiar deck to me, but I'm still figuring it out. Okay, all of them are facing the right way. We're gonna deal 5 to each player, 1 for round 1. If there's several possibilities for what can happen. Round 1 dealt. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 5. 1, 2, 3, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you get to look at your hand. And they're divided up into elements. So spades are earth element, like a shovel. Shovel the earth. Clubs are water element, like a little flower that takes flower to grow. This is actually worth 0. So it's 0 to 9. That's how the numbers work. And so this, if you were to be able to add them together, which you really can't in the first round, but if you were, this could be just 8, and this would be, what is that, 16, 17, 18. So that's this hand. Again, just to show you the different elements. All right, we've got 4 of fire, the heart, the fire, the passion. A 3 of air, a 7 of air, that's diamonds. And then a 3 of earth and a 3 of water. Okay, so you kind of get the idea. I'm not gonna show you all the different cards. What I want to do though is mix them up so I don't know what's coming. And what I'll do is everybody is given these hands. Now, remember that you win by getting to 5 successful casts first. Like you win 5 casts. So you're battling with these 4 different wizards. And you want to be the individual winner, but you also have a teammate. So you win by being part of the team that has 5 casts, and you want to have successfully won the most of those casts. So ways that could work is an individual could win all 5, and they'd be the supreme mage, and that very rarely happens. Or let's say that you get 4 and your partner gets 1, then you would be the winner, and they would be second place, and then the first and second place, third place is, you lose. 4th place, you definitely lose. There's stages, though sometimes there's just tied for last place. Okay. Anyways, you get the idea. So let's just start. We're gonna flip over so you can start seeing how it works. You're allowed to table talk, by the way. There's no evidence that you'll be honest exactly. You can lie because everybody is against each other, but you also have a team which can help you win and help you survive, which I'll explain as we move along. But so this person played a 3 of air, this person played a 0 of fire, this is a 7 of earth and a 9 of earth. So in this round, just so you know, fire cannot persist. It cannot persist unless air is present. So even though this is a 0 of fire, it technically consumes the air and is allowed to persist. It is sparked, it isn't considered void. Since there's an air, it is sparked and it is allowed to continue playing. Now obviously a 0 of fire is not the strongest, but it certainly was powerful enough to destroy even the most powerful air card. So something to consider about the air-fire relationship. Now in these two, it just comes down to a 9 and a 7 of earth. Well, the 7 of earth is not as powerful as the 9 of earth, so this mage now faces off a 9 of earth versus a 0 of fire. Now, in a tie situation between fire and earth, fire wins. Fire and earth cannot tie, but this 0 of fire is clearly lower than this 9 of earth, so this one would win. So none of the cards were sent to the out of play pile. They're all placed in the discard pile. So this is the future draw pile. This is the discard pile. So this is discard, future pile, out of play, or the void. The void. This is also where evaporated cards go. This is where homeostasis cards go. So again, homeostasis, evaporation, and void. When a fire doesn't have an air, it is considered void. Whenever a fire is consumes water by being greater than ×2, it evaporates. Greater than the numeric value, so it evaporates. I'll explain it when it happens. And homeostasis is when earth and water equal each other. Those are all placed in the out of play pile and are no longer accessible elements to the magicians. So that can affect things later on. But anyways, let's do the next round just so you can keep seeing how this goes. All right. A 0 of earth, an 8 of earth, a 4 of fire, and a 2 of air. The air supports the fire, making it not void. This is a 4. This is 0 of earth going against an 8 of earth. The fire is less than this one, so this one wins again. So I don't actually recall who won the last round. I think the 9 was here. So if we were keeping score this time, this individual has won 2. Now, in order to win the game, you must have 5 as a team total and have the most in your team to be the first mage, high mage, like the second place winner. I don't know what I'm going to call him. High mage, and then mage, and then loser and low, like high mage, victor, loser, low victor. I don't know. First, second, third, and fourth. Anyways, but I want to get a cute name so that it's more fun. But going the next round, obviously, again, you're allowed to talk. You're allowed to talk to your partner. You're allowed to tell them what you're going to play. You can try and lie. You can twist people's opinion because obviously it's important. Like, it just depends on your style. It depends on the tally. So you want to partner with your partner, but then at the end, it's maybe not necessary. So this 7 of air consumed by this 2 of fire. Now we have our first water-earth opposition. Because of that, the earth is a 1, and the 7 of water is a 7. So the highest earth goes after the highest water. Now they're not the same, they don't have homeostasis, so it cripples it by 1. So this 7 of water becomes a 6 of water. 6 of water versus 2 of fire. The fire and water combinations, again, the only way fire can defeat water is if it's twice as much. So, for instance, let's say that this was, well, first we'll get the result. 2 of fire versus 6 of water. Clearly the water is winning. Let's say that this was a 6 of fire and this was a 2 of water. The 6 of fire is twice the amount of the 2 of fire. So because of that, this 6 of water would evaporate this fire, meaning it would take the fire element, not the air. The air element would be discarded, and the fire element would be placed in the out of play area because it was evaporated, which cues an option to do. First, you look through the discard pile for an air element that is either 2, 1, or 0 of fire. It has to be the same or less than. So in this discard pile, you could look through. The only one in the discard pile that you could take would be the 2 of air to compensate. Now, obviously that didn't happen. I just want to start planting that seed for when it occurs so it's a little less confusing. But I don't want to, in this round, a 2 of fire that was sparked by this 7 of air, it survives to battle, and this 6 of water ends up winning, and they all go to the discard pile, making this player the receiver of a cast round. So it doesn't look like the team, well, I know for sure that the team isn't going to get a 5 sweep, so we'll definitely have to go to round 2 at the very least, this round. All right, so now that we have this next round, we've got 8, 3, and 6 of water. This one's going to be rather easy. So air and water, they don't have any sort of magical relationship with each other. They're considered, air and water. They just don't interact so much. So it's just based on numeric value. This one's the highest. So this round was rather simple. Now, it looks like this player is certainly set up to win. So at this stage, if this player is honest, the best it can do is get second place. It already accepts that it can't win. So at this point, if this player is smart and it's going based off totals, if you're like keeping track across multiple games, then this one is like, okay, the most points I'm gonna get is 2. I'm not gonna escape by with just 1 point. I'm gonna definitely get 2. So it definitely wants to start helping win. Yeah, let's see what happens. There's not enough for them to get 5 this round anyways. Okay, so now what's happening in this last round, 0 of water, 3 of earth, 7 of fire, 8 of fire. Unfortunately for both of these cards, there's no air. There's no air available, so they both actually get placed in the out of play area because they're considered void. They can't spark. So those are no longer going to be able to be dealt back in. Fire is the element that's most likely to be voided, that's most likely to be taken out of the deck. Now for this one, the 0 of water, it doesn't actually reduce it by any. But nonetheless, the earth wins. The 3 of earth wins, and that goes in the discard pile. So that was this one. So, all right. It looks like it is. This team has 3. This one has, and each of these have 1. So there's a chance that this one or this one could be the winner. Like, let's say this one gets 3 and this one gets 2. This one would be the winner because they got to 5 first. So this team is still trying to win the next 3 rounds. This one just needs to win the next 2 rounds. This one is certainly going to get first place if this team wins, whereas in this one, there's still variability. So round 2, we've done 5 spells. There's 5 check marks. So now it's round 2. There's 3 hands. This one is different because you deal 2 cards at a time to each person. Now this one is there. So there is not enough cards, these each gets 2. So what you do is you flip over the discard pile, you don't shuffle. You never shuffle in this game. Except for, obviously, in between rounds. So now what we do is we have a different round. We have a different round. So my character is a 9 and a 7 and a 2 of earth. It has a 0 of air. It has a 1 of water and a 6 of fire. So it plays 2 at a time. Now, the advantage of having 2, especially when you have a fire card, is I could play, let's say, these together, ensuring, well, you think ensuring that this is gonna spark. I hope I haven't made a mistake in previous rounds displaying this rule. I may have. Damn it. Sorry. It's okay. I'm just sort of documenting this so that people can explain, but we'll see. Essentially, let's say that there was 2 fires. I do think I made this mistake earlier. An air card can only spark the highest fire. The fire that doesn't get sparked, if there's, let's say, 1 air card and 2 fire cards, only one of the fires can survive. The highest fire will. The lower fire will be put in out of play. If I made that mistake, I apologize. I apologize in confusing everyone. But more or less, I think you're starting to understand the rules. So let's say I play these 2. I'm not actually going to look through all of them because that takes too much time. This is obviously something that would rarely be played because it's unfortunate. Because you'll start seeing how this works. Okay, so what we do now that we've played this round, so we start with the air-fire combination just because the fire is the one that's most vulnerable. So what fire do we have on the field? We have the highest 6 of fire. That's the highest. What is the highest air? The highest air is the 5 of air, so it is absorbed here. It is absorbed here and is able to sustain. The next fire that's the highest is this one, and it is absorbed here, like this. Okay, so no fire is voided. Now, for the purposes of battles between air and fire, if there's another air element that exists here, so like a 0 of air, it is technically still a contender. It is technically still a contender, but obviously it's probably a low air because the high airs immediately support the fires. So technically this 0 air is not likely going to be high enough to win, but let's see. 6, 0, 1. So this fire is gonna go below here. The 0 is essentially worthless, so we can get rid of it too. Now water. Okay, the highest water is 9, so it unfortunately is attacked by its own earth element, reducing it to a 5 of water and a 5 of water. Because these are all 5s, 5 of water versus 5 water, they don't reach homeostasis and go out of play, but they are battling each other, which gives this mage the win, if that makes sense. Again, I know that there's nuances. That's why we just have to keep going. Okay, so that has switched to be the future pile. This is the discard pile. Okay, let's just do next round. Next round. This one is about to become maybe not the ultimate Grand Mage if it had won it in the first round, but pretty dang impressive. The other one still gets second place even though he doesn't have any points if he wins though. Okay, so let's take a peek. Start with fire. 1 of fire, 3 of fire, 9 of fire. This is the highest fire, so it takes the highest air and gets to continue. The next highest fire is this one. It takes this air and gets to continue. This fire does not have any air to support it, so it is considered void. Sorry, Obi-Wan. Here, these go together. 9 plus 7. I can't do math. 16. I can do math. I just did math. Okay. 16. So now fire and earth, these don't conflict each other. So they're both allowed to remain present. So now what we have to do is we have to see, okay, so there's no water. So I believe this one is going to be the victor. I believe this one is going to be the victor. 16. Yeah. It is. So this guy technically won, so he would have won. This one would have got second. And then they would have tied for last or whatever. So how would the scoring system work if you were to play another round? So high mage. How about this? High mage accrues 0 karmic baggage. The mage accrues 1 karmic mat. And then the losers both accrue. It could be staged. It could be like, how do we want to do this? How do we want to do this? Since they're tied, they both need to get the same, so it needs to be somewhat fair. So let's say one mark for, you don't want points in this as you're accruing. Could do 2, meaning 4 total. Or it could be I don't know. I kind of think just 0, 1, and then how about 3? 3 each. Because they tied. They both should be punished. I want there to be a somewhat of a gap. Maybe it can be, since they're tied, they both get 3. Otherwise, let's say that it was more like this. Then that one could get 0, 1, 2, and then 3. What's the most interesting? What's the most interesting? Because once you, maybe once you get to like 10 or 9, then once someone gets to 9, the game is over and the person with the lowest wins. Unless there needs to be a tiebreaker, but. All right, what else do I want to explain about this? I think most of the things, evaporation hasn't been explained. Let's say we got to the last round. I'll deal another hand. We'll see. Okay. So again, we're starting again. Shuffling. I need some water. Okay. So we'll start with round 1. So, future, discard, out of play. Okay. So yes, you can talk to your partner. You can say what you need or what you want them to do or etc. But remember, everybody is against themselves at the end of the day. So your partner is only somewhat your partner. Okay. All right. What do I want to play? Dang, I feel like this is a strong first choice. So I'll play this one. We'll see what everyone else does. Dang. Okay, so this is an instance of where earth and water and stuff are going to become clear. So this fire was played. Unfortunately, no air sparked it. So it is placed in the out of play and becomes void. Now, in this instance, the highest water and the highest earth face off. Since they're the same, they reach homeostasis. So there's some risk in playing your high cards. But it's again, you're allowed to say what you're going to do. people can counter, your partner can hear you, they can hear you. You can develop like a secret way of communicating with your partner, but again, since everybody's actually against each other, there's really, it gets a bit chaotic. It gets a bit chaotic. To win in the end, though, yeah, we'll see. So these are homeostasis. They're placed in out of play. This is the only card that survives. So it's placed in the discard pile. This person gets a point. For a Middle Earth spell, it was able to survive. Now I'm just gonna keep flipping. Okay. So in this instance, this is a variety that we haven't seen, I suppose. Just to sort of play it out, this high water cripples this earth, making this one a 3 of water versus a 2 of earth, but the 9 of air was not consumed by fire, so it's the winner. It's the winner. Discard pile. All right, next round. Hopefully this is becoming more clear as we go along. My brain is sort of fried from thinking through all these things, I have a feeling, and maybe a little dehydrated, but 3 of fire, 1 of fire. This is the one that's going to subsume the air. Subsume, I don't know if that's a word. This one is placed in the void, in the out of play pile. And now we have a 3 of fire versus a 0 of earth. Ties between earth and fire would go to fire. This is not a tie, fire wins. So at this stage, it's a little more round, a little more even. Again, how will talking and communicating with your partner affect this? How will telling people what you're going to do or asking them to do things for you, how will that work? How will these strategies and these magicians start to get along? So, 0 of earth, 8 of water, 3 of earth, 1 of water. So the highest water is this one, and the highest earth is this one. So this one will be sacrificed, reducing this one to a 5 of water. 5 of water versus 5 of water versus, let's see, that's the first move. And this is where, again, the rules are still being sort of finessed, so you can kind of see. But since that's the first move, this is now a 5 of water, right? What's the next highest earth? So this is a 0 of earth. It would also be placed on, it's the highest earth, so it would technically be placed upon the 5 of water. It doesn't actually reduce it, it's just a 5 of water. Versus a 1 of water, so this one wins. Again, I'm not, it's not like it's necessarily important, this person obviously won, but I want, in the event that there's homeostasis that occurs, I want to show, like let's say that that had been reduced to a 5 of water and this was a 5 of earth, then all 3 of those cards would become out of play. So it's a little bit luck, but if you're honest with people, and I don't know, there's so much potential, but you can't say that there isn't a system if you start to trust the person you're playing with, and you start to learn their style of magic. So 4 of fire subsumes 1 of air and gets to survive. 6 of water versus 5 of water. So they're not tied, so this one does win. So then it just becomes like a 6 of water versus a 4 of fire. Again, this 6 of fire, this 6 of water would win up against all the way to a 12 of fire, because fire has to be greater than twice as strong in order to survive. And a tie, the water would win. But in this case, the water wins again. So that would be the end of the first round. Round 1 complete. This team has 3, this team has 2. This one is the one that's slightly in the lead. So, future power for round 2. The dealer rotates, by the way, each game. Just who gets the cards first, not that it necessarily matters that much. No shuffling. Discard pile starts to come back into play. It is now converted into the future pile, which matters in the event of evaporations. So, all right. What do I want to do? I'm looking at my cards here. So I've got a 2 of fire. It's powerful because it consumes an air that's potentially high. I could consume my own air, but again, I'm 2 of fire. It's just not that strong against other elements. I get to place down 2. This could total a 9 of earth, which is pretty strong. I think I'll just go with my 9 of earth. And again, I should probably be looking at these to create more unique combinations to show you what happens. But I guess I will try to do that. No, I won't. I don't have the mental bandwidth right now. Let's just trust. Let's just trust. Okay. The luck of the draw and see. All right. Beep, 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 beep. Okay. 9 of earth. Those go together. 5 of earth. Those go together. In the display, in the battle, this one wins, of course, against this one. But we start with fire. Sorry, I should have done that first. Highest air is this one. Going to support this really strong fire card. Really strong fire card. So since there's no water, fire is looking pretty strong. This earth and this air, they don't battle each other. They're not a problem. This is the clear winner. The 9 is the strongest anyways. This 3 of air escapes. And it could end up winning, I guess, if there's a water that... Yeah, I mean, there's more layers. I'm trying to explain. So let's say if the water had won, like let's say, so this is a 9 of fire. So if this was a 5 of water, like let's say that these were, let's say that this was actually water. The 5 of water would actually win against the 9. The 9 of water. The 9 of fire would lose against the 5 of water, is what I'm saying. So then this air, it's only a 3, would lose to the 5 as well. But that 5 of water and that 5 of earth would actually cancel each other out. Potentially. No, because this is already a 9 of earth. Actually, well, who wins in this one? The fire wins because the 9 of earth. 9 of fire, fire wins in a tie against earth. Yeah, this one wins. This one wins. Again, I'm trying to find situations where the game logic doesn't work. I'm trying to discover where the problems are, but thus far haven't. I wish I guess is good. It would just be more fun to play with people who are aware of the rules. Highest fire, 7. Highest air. 7 of fire persists. This air persists. Okay, highest, so Aries is first, Aries. Taurus is next, so we'll do Earth next. Or water. Earth and water, it doesn't really matter which one comes next, but fire is first. Okay. Earth and water. The highest earth is 8. The highest water is 4. Okay. So this becomes a 4 of earth, a 3 of water, a 6 of earth, and a 2 of water. So the 6 of earth is encroached upon by the 3. So 4 of earth, 3 of earth, 2 of water. The 2 of water is the highest water now, and it goes upon the 8 of the 4 of earth. So this is now a 2 of earth, and this is a 3 of earth. So the 7 of fire is definitely the strongest. The 7 of fire is definitely the strongest. I wonder if the rules are becoming clear. I wonder if the rules are becoming clear to you. There's a good chance now, if let's see what happens. Maybe we're gonna get to go play the last round. If either of these guys win, then we would. We may make that happen just so we can see what the last round is like, because I need to demonstrate it, I think, at some point. I haven't had many evaporations. There's been some homeostasis. There's been some void, but the evaporation is a little more confusing because the rules are a little more nuanced and involve canceling table talk. So I'll explain when it happens. All right. Highest fire is the 8 of fire. What is the highest air? This is a 0 of air, this is a 7 of air. So the 7 of air is subsumed by the highest fire, which gets to persist. Forward. Let's see. All right. This 2 of fire is, the 6 of fire is next highest. 2 of air supports that one. It gets to subsist. And then this one gets to subsist. So there's 3 fiery blasts coming from this one. This fire was not supported, so it has to be put in the out of play void. As I said, fire is the most finicky of the magics. Finicky of the magics. Okay, so 6, 2, and 8. And 7. So 8 of fire wins. 8 of fire wins. Oh wait, I don't actually know. I think I'm lying. Hold on, that's a 7 of water, not a 7 of earth. This one is, luckily this guy wins, regardless, I think. But let's actually carry it out. So, this is an evaporation. This is an instant of evaporation, potentially. But I don't think it is, because it's not. So, this 7 of water, the only way it's going to lose to a fire is if it's, I can't believe I missed this. It would have to be a level 15, because 7 plus 7 is 14. So it would have to be a 15 firepower to evaporate this water. This water is the victor. It wins over all of those other fires. One of the differences, I guess, between the things is like, so earth and air, you notice they keep going back into each other. They keep negotiating. But whenever it comes to like water and fire, like that one water, it doesn't have to like deal with the highest fire. Like it's the water, that's one of the things about the water one that's, again, I suppose I could have that water confront the highest fire, but it didn't, somehow it felt more right with water to just like have a slightly different thing. Like fire just has to be extra powerful in order to deal with the water. And if it's not, it's not. And it doesn't, I thought about like all the fires adding together across lines, but the person with the highest one could win, and that's an option. So what would that be? What would that be? So this one was it was an 8 and a 7, a 2 and a 6, is that right? Yeah. So, okay, so let's explore the different options we could do in this. So, this is a 7 of water. which means it can only be destroyed by a fire that's worth 14. This individual doesn't have 14 fire. This individual doesn't have 14 fire. This individual doesn't have 14 fire. But if you face this one water versus all these fires together, then it would. It would be enough to evaporate it. It would be enough to evaporate it. So that's an option. I'm still trying to finesse how I want this to go. Because the water is incredibly powerful, but if the fires all bond together, so it's maybe fire could start to stack. Fire could start to stack. Like instead of when a lesser fire, it actually joins the fire. I kind of like that. In the event that there's an equal fire, though, what do we do if there's an equal fire? Who does it go to? Is it another one of those stalemates and then the other person gets to win? That could work. That could work. There's just stacks and stacks of rules. I kind of like the idea that this card gets evaporated and that fire takes. Obviously, I'm still creating this as I go. 14, 16. Let's say that this gets evaporated, just so we can show. So the way that would work, this is a 7 of water that is evaporated, so it's placed in the out of play. So that means this player looks in the discard pile for an air card. So this is diamonds. That's greater than. So this 6 would work. 6 of diamonds would work. This 4 of diamonds would work. This 5. This 3. It could take any of these. Obviously, the 6 of air is probably the most powerful, but, you know, maybe you have to take the highest one, I guess. So then this character would get it. Now, he got it from the discard pile, which means that he gets to keep it. He doesn't get to do the trade thing, and he's not allowed to speak until it's played. So this character is hushed. This character is hushed. These all go into the discard pile. These all go into the discard pile. And it won anyways, because it had the most powerful fireball. But it does get to keep this one going through to the next round. So it just won. So now we played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rounds. So this is the final round where one of the teams are going to win. This one gets the advantage. So we start from the future pile and we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is where it gets super unfair sometimes, depending on how many are out of play. 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Luckily, there was plenty of cards left, but you do go in dealer order. So some people like literally just don't get as many elements in the last round, which is, so putting things out of play, actually, it depends on who's the dealer if you really like out of play to happen or not. But anyways, so in this last round where there's 7 each, what you do, this person actually gets 8. This person actually gets 8. Not allowed, but it's a little different. Like this card has to remain with the person, so it's not part of the ones that's passed. It's your hushed card. You're hushed, but you get this extra 6 air card. So that was evaporated from the water. So now in this one, well, I'm not gonna look at those. I'm just gonna look at my own. Okay. What do I want to do? What is my most powerful? And this one I place all 3. Obviously, okay, so that combination is potentially there, but of course it's 7 of fire is high enough that there's a good chance I'll be able to take someone else's air. That feels pretty powerful. Then again, I could add all these. Ooh, I'm feeling something like this. This will destroy an air card if present, which helps me. And it's a pretty high fire. Of course, this fire can get sucked into someone else's fire if they happen to have a higher fire card, making them very powerful, which is very likely given the cards. So this is where you talk with your partner. You can't win, so I would say in this instance, I would be talking to my partner. I'd be like, hey, what do you want? And it can get kind of confusing. So this person, I would just be like, I'm gonna keep, what do you want? And in order for us to win, what do I need to keep? This guy's like, well, I've got shit cards for fire. So fire, I don't want to play these because they could potentially counter, but they could also counter the other person's. You can't stack Earth together. What do I want to keep? It's like, actually, how do you help in this situation? Maybe you convince him to keep an air card. No waters. You want the waters to get discarded. Maybe you just keep some of these, you pass them over. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, these go here. Okay. Yes. So now this one. If he doesn't, it's not like this card is just an extra one to have, so it gets to get played. It's like a hushed card, so it has to be played. So technically, this person's gonna have 4 cards. Technically, this person is gonna have 4 cards because they get to play 3. Anyways, so let's just do 1, 2, 3. Discard. I'm starting to lose my train of thought because I'm overwhelmed by having to do all the people's stuff at the same time. But you only get to keep 3. So, oh wow. So who's gonna keep what? So in this one, which one am I gonna keep? I know that one air card's gonna for sure be played. This person is gonna have a really strong thing. Part of me is like, well, maybe I need to keep, this is a high fire card that was given to me. I'm not sure why that person gave that to me. Not as powerful against water. I only get to keep 3. Maybe I'll do this. Because the 9 of fire puts me at the crown of fire. Doesn't mean I can't be surpassed by another element, but pretty strong. We'll get rid of these. So these go to the discard pile. That's the future draw pile, I guess. This is the discard pile. Oh, yeah. I wonder if hushed evaporated cards can carry with you into the next game if you want them to. If you acquire them at the round. I guess it depends. Okay, so which ones are they going to keep? So, technically I haven't seen these. I know that one's going to be played. That one's for sure going to show up. It'll be the 4th card that's flipped. So 1 air, that'll for sure support this fire, because that's the highest fire card. So that fire one's guaranteed. What does this person want? It doesn't want to go against the earth here, because we've table talked. It knows that I have the highest fire, so it's probably going to want to give me more fire. So maybe it keeps these 3. And these are discarded. This player knows it can only get second place. It definitely wants this one to win. Even it doesn't matter who, this person's still gonna win. So on this side, they're table talking as well. What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? Fire. The fire is gonna get consumed to a degree. These are really crapped cards, but with that one, I don't know. That's a lot of air. That's a lot of air. I mean, the fire is gonna build. Fire will build to pretty high, so maybe water is the best bet. Like a 6 and a 5. Unfortunately, these are all earth. But maybe let's just do it. Unfortunately, I guess keeping the highest earth makes sense. There's so many layers once it gets to this point. So, okay. I just wanted to play a game where it was always different. No, there's so much change and so much elemental flux that it's difficult. Okay, so fire first. The highest fire is this 9 of fire. It takes the highest air. And survives. The next fire. 4, it takes this air. And survives. The next fire takes this air and survives. This one has an air still. It makes it through as well. This is an earth. Okay, so now earth is next. Earth and water. The highest total earth is going to be this one, right? So 8 plus 6, 14 plus 11. So 11 water going on top of 14. So that would be 3 earth, 7 earth, 3 earth, 0 water. Now, so the thing is, concerning the rule with fire, if there's a fireball effect, if it like consumes, because this one does add up to 7, so it's like 7 fire versus 9 fire. They're not tied. It just almost feels like once you stack, but I guess fire is the most finicky. So that would be 7 plus 9. Seven plus 9, so that would be 16. So then if there was a water value of 8, it would win, which is not unreasonable. Fire build. I kind of like the fire building. So anyways, this one is probably the winner, right? Because this is earth. There's no water really to challenge, so 16 fire, 0 water. This one is evaporated. Easily evaporated. Place in the out of play. The discard pile is checked for a 0 air. That's the only one it could be. Is there a 10 of diamonds? No, so then you look through the future pile. There may not be one, so it may be a bust. No, there is. That one gets the 10 of diamonds. The future pile remains down. Oh, it was unhushed because it played the 6 of diamonds, but now it's rehushed. But now it's rehushed. But it did look through the future pile, so it could. It can't. There's no cards to draw from though. There's no subsequent rounds that it could trade with. I think if you're evaporated in the last round, it doesn't matter. I don't think it continues through. I think it's a clean slate. All hexes and curses removed. 1. Yeah, I think that there's potential here. It holds together. It holds together. All right. I need water. Is this still going? It is. Wow, time just flies. So yes. Fire takes air. Fire builds. Unless it is equal. Fire builds unless it is equal, in which it stalemates. Either busting the cast or hand. Either busting the cast or hand. Or passing next highest. Passing to next highest. Wizard element. And again, I'm understanding this. I'm not sure how much of this would be translating to someone who's trying to learn it themselves, but I think more or less the principles are there. We're just gonna do another round of 3 just to see how it all fits together. So let's see. So you start by combining like elements. So 7 of earth, 1 of fire. 1, 2, 3. All separate elements. That's a very unfortunate thing. But not necessarily, I guess, in this turn. So these two go together. So start with fire. The highest fire is 5 of hearts. So the ace supports it and it gets to proceed. These 2 fires are discarded. Or excuse me, put in out of play. Because there's no air to sustain them. Now, which is it? This one has 2 of earth, 5 of water, 9s of earth and water. This is 13 of earth. 13 of earth. The highest earth needs to be challenged by the highest water, because earth comes first in the challenge scheme. between earth and water. But it doesn't really matter. They're the highest ones matched together, so it really doesn't matter. So the 9 is the highest. Crippling. I like to be able to see both of them. So that one gets crippled by 9. Reducing it to, what would that be? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 minus 9, so 4. 4 of earth. Versus 7 of water. 2 of water, 5 of water. 9 of earth. The 9 of earth is paired up with 7 of water. 2 of earth versus 2 of earth, 4. 2 of earth versus 4 of earth. 2, 4. This is a 5 of water, so that goes here. Wait, what is it? Yeah, 4 on 5. So this is now reduced to a 1 of water, 2 of earth, 2 of earth. So these are tied. So this water, this fire's gonna win. I think it doesn't really matter, but since these are tied and they're not, this one can't, it doesn't have the power to like pick which one to go to. The caster then, I mean, I guess it, in a tie, it's not like there's a natural order, so maybe caster's choice. Caster's choice could work. So many nuances and rules, it just keeps building. Because there's so many different combinations. I don't know if I've actually captured them all. I think that's why I like it. So 5 of water. This one was 4 of earth. This was reduced to 1 of water. 2 of earth, 2 of earth. I think the stalemate thing is the 2 earths are going against each other, so they're discarded. Not homeostasis, but discarded. And a 5 of fire versus a 1 of water. 5 evaporates that water, but it's the last round, so there's no hush. Hush curse. I think it holds together. I think it holds together. A game has been created. See y'all later. Love, light, and the snakes. Bye.